So while I'm sitting here, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about some of the things that I am not doing as a mom. I think like this is going to be a good segment break in one of my vlog videos. But living in Florida, I realized a lot of things, and as I grow as a mom, I've also learned a lot of things. So these are just some of the things that I wrote down that I'm not doing as a mom. And it says, my daughter is not wearing pom-pom riders in public. Like, living in Florida, I feel like it is a rite of passage for the girls in Florida to just have the shortest of shorts on in public, whether it's in their household, whether they're going to play sports, whether they are going to bed. It don't matter the occasion, they're always in shorts. It's like they don't know how to wear anything else except super duper short shorts, and I'm just not here for it. I feel like sometimes, well, not sometimes, a lot of the times it brings unwanted attention, especially to females, and when they get the unwanted attention, it causes a lot of problems. So my daughter is simply won't be participating. If she have gymnastics or cheerleading or something where she has to wear like super short shorts and it's appropriate for the occasion, she can wear them. But to just walk around every single day, that is your only form of clothing, whether you're in the house, whether you're going to the store, whether you're going to the mall, no, absolutely not. And it's the same with sagging pants. The other day I went to the park with my kids, and I think it's in the last vlog video that I posted, and I saw a little boy with his mom, and his pants was literally sagging off his ass. He had no belt and he was just running around in slippers, and I was like, that could never be my son. That could never be, like, and the mom is just sitting there acting like what his son has on is okay. No other kid in the park has their butt out like him and has his underwear showing, and his shirt is tight, and he's a chubby little boy, and his shirt is tight, his pants is sagging, his damn underwear is showing, and I'm just sitting there like confused, cause I could never buy no clothes for my 7-year-old or 6-year-old son, and he is out with me walking around like that. He would never. He would probably have to go back to his maker. The next thing is, none of my children are having cell phones until they're 14 years old. And I'm not talking, when I say phones, people are gonna think that's a bit extreme. They can have a phone where they can make a call or receive a call, like a track phone, but a phone where they can browse the internet, download anything they want to download, they're not having that before the age of 14 years old. I'm not doing it. I don't think any child under 16 years old need to have access to the internet like that. So yeah, they're not getting a phone. They're not getting no iPhone. They're not getting no Android. They'll probably get a track phone, and that's that. And then the next thing I have on here is no weave for my daughters under 14. So I don't have a problem with weave. I wear weave. However, I need to make sure that I'm building confidence in my daughters from an early age. So putting weave in their hair at a young age is probably going to contribute to hair dysmorphia. Okay, I want my daughters to see themselves in their natural hair, love and appreciate their natural hair, and love and appreciate how their hair grows out their scalp naturally. without anybody bringing any hair politics to them or telling them that their hair needs to be done, or this is not appropriate to wear here and that is not appropriate to wear there. I need my daughters to have self-esteem in knowing that their hair is beautiful just the way it grows out of their scalp. And I feel like 14 is that age. Once you hit 14, you're about to go into 9th grade and you probably want to do some boohoo box braids to go to 9th grade and go into high school. I have no problems with that. But for the remainder of your childhood / tween years, you're not going to have weave in your head. I'm sorry. And also all the styles are going to be child appropriate. I've seen so many kids with bust downs and friggin' lace fronts, and yeah, no, it's not gonna happen for my daughter. I love y'all, but it ain't gonna happen. The next thing is chores. So chores are non-negotiable, and I'm already fostering this now. My son have this tendency where he drops his clothes behind my door, or just drop his clothes in the bathroom floor, and I've made my mind up to teach him a lesson that I will not be picking up after him. He doesn't have a maid, he doesn't have anybody that's going to pick up after him. He needs to put his clothes in the dirty clothes basket where it goes. That is your chore, that is your responsibility. You play with your toys, you scatter them everywhere, you will have to clean them up. You're at the age where you can pick up after yourself. If you weren't, I would do it. But now that you're at the age, you're going to do your own chores. You're going to have a certain level of responsibility that you have to get done. And I'm not a parent that think that if I ask too much, I'm just going to stop asking because I'm tired. I'm not. Every single time that you are told to do something and you don't do it, I'm going to make it a point to make sure you do it. Because at the end of the day, I'm raising you to be a productive, successful human being. I don't care if you're a boy or girl. You need to actually participate and do your part in keeping your environment clean, and also doing your due diligence, doing your responsibilities, doing your chores. Your chores will resonate with when you're an adult. If I tell you to do something, you're going to follow through and do it, because as a man, as a woman, your word is going to be your bond. So if you say you're going to do something, do it, follow through and do it. And that goes for chores. And then the next thing is, I'm not rewarding anyone for mediocrity. This is a big thing for me. It's a very big thing, and I think a lot of people think that I'm kind of hard on my kids, and I know my kids think I'm hard on them, but I feel like society is going to be hard on them. So I feel like I'm preparing them for society. I don't want to raise naive kids that think they're going to get by being mediocre. They're going to get by doing the bare minimum. They're going to get by doing the basics. I'm not rewarding mediocrity. So if I know C's get degrees, but if you're in high school and the only thing I require of you is for you to go to school and do your best, and you're coming home with C's, I'm not rewarding you. You're not getting no expensive gifts. You're not getting anything lavish from me. None of that. I'm not rewarding mediocrity at all. Especially if you're a child and the only thing I require from you is to go to school. A's and B's at minimum. Simple. High school is not that hard. I went to high school. A lot of people went to high school. A lot of people went to school, period. And high school especially is going to set you up for college. So I'm not rewarding anyone with that's mediocre in school. Another thing with this and school also, if you're being mediocre in school, then you can't play sports, you can't have any extracurricular activities, because why should I let you do sports when you can't even keep up with your schoolwork? And I know not everyone is going to be good at school, not everyone is going to be at the same level at school, but me as a parent, I will give you the support that you need. I will help you. I will get you tutors. I will do whatever I need to do to make sure you're on the right path. If you can't focus on school and your grades, don't think you're going to be playing any sports. Sports and your grades go hand in hand. One don't go out with the other. And extracurricular activities for me is a privilege. It's definitely not a right. So if you want that privilege to be able to play sports and do extracurricular activities, you're gonna have to make sure you're doing good at school and at your schoolwork. And you can't give me any lame excuse about you not doing good in school either. The next one is, and the last one is, college is non-negotiable. I don't give a damn what anybody wants to say. College is non-negotiable, especially for my daughters. Like my son can go to the military, he can go learn a trade. He can go learn a trade. He can go do something with his life. But you're going to college. You're getting at least an associate's degree. At least a 2-year degree. I don't care what anybody wants to say. You can hate me now and love me later on in life. I don't give a damn. You're getting that degree. I don't care. If you get the degree and you hate the field and you want to go do something else, I don't care, but you're getting that degree. And I'm going to be very clear in telling my kids, make sure you go to school for a degree that you can actually use. Sometimes when you get these degrees, they become not helpful, not useful. Like, for example, a psychology degree, if you're not getting a PhD or a doctorate in psychology, it's going to be very hard for you to get good money, get good pay for that type of degree. So pick something that you can be hands-on with and you can go to school for and you can get paid for. STEM, and you're good. And I would prefer it to be in the STEM field. So that's my little chit chat. I need to go get ready because I have a doctor's appointment. So this is my last doctor's visit before my due date, so I got checked. So I'm 3 centimeters dilated, about 60 to 70 effaced, and yeah, they are saying that if I pass my due date, they're going to schedule a induction. So time is ticking. It's time to get this baby out. We're about to get this baby out this week. I have a $200 gift card that my insurance sent me. I'm gonna go to Walmart. I'm gonna walk around as long as I possibly can and make sure this gift card actually works and buy the last of my stuff. I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna get. So I need an 8-ounce bottle and a 4-ounce bottle. I need nipple pads. I need milk bags. I need a baby wash rags, baby birth cloths, baby towel. I need a water thermometer, vitamin D drops, gripe water, nipple butter, and I want a baby brush or sterilizing drying rack. And I also want some sleepers. which are 0 to 3 months and 3 to 6 months sleepers, and swaddle 0 to 3 months or 3 to 6 months. We'll see how far this $200 stretch to. So that's what we're gonna be doing for the rest of the day. I need to walk, I need to get exercise in. I've been resting because I ended up in the hospital on Christmas Day, but this girl gotta get out. She gotta get out. So that's what we're doing today. Operation Get Her Out is in full effect. I don't know why this old ass man at the door is always stopping me and checking my items. Like, I went to someone to check my items. I didn't do self-checkout. She packed all my items up and put them in my cart. He had me standing there for a good 3 to 4 minutes talking about if he can scan my friggin' baby drying rack. I'm so annoyed and irritated right now. Anyways, I'm gonna go home, wash and sterilize these bottles and pacifiers and stuff. That's what I'm gonna do. So let's get to it. And I got almost everything on the list. So I almost got everything on the list. I normally do checklists. The only thing I didn't get was the breast shells, the baby thermometer. I didn't get any swaddlers. I didn't get any swaddle, and I didn't get any sleepers. And then I add on to it, a baby thermometer. I want the head thermometer and also cradle cap stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 more items that I need to get. They are not priority items. The only thing I would say that's priority is the baby thermometer, the baby water thermometer, and the cradle cap stuff. I have newborn sleepers, I have newborn swaddles. I just don't have any like 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, and stuff like that. And I can always get them later, but I like to have them on hand where I already washed them and they're good to go. But I'm about to go home now. The total came up to $154, so I have about 40 something dollars left on this. So I'm just showing you all the brands of the items that I actually got. And then I'm going to go into putting this Dr. Brown's drying rack together. I will say this drying rack actually holds quite a bit of stuff and I really like it a lot.
Then I'm gonna go in and wash my bottles, my pacifiers, my nipples, my breast shields, everything that needs to be washed and sterilized. That's what I'm doing today. And I'm washing my bottles and everything in hot water and then rinsing them off. And then I am going to sterilize them by putting them in boiling hot water. And you're supposed to sit them in that boiling hot water for 5 minutes and then take them out. And then after that, I put them on my drying rack. I will say the drying rack definitely is worth the money. If you are bottle feeding, however, I feel like you should definitely invest in a Mom Cozy or Groundsy or one of these brands bottle washer, because this was exhausting, especially doing this like very, very pregnant. This was a lot. So if you're going to be bottle feeding your baby, definitely invest in a bottle washer and sterilizer. It's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of energy. Then this case that you see, this clear case, is actually from TikTok shop, and I got it on sale, and it holds quite a bit of stuff, and it allows me to organize her bottles and her pacifier and my breast shields and my parts for my pumps and everything. So I really like this organizer a lot, and it holds quite a bit of stuff and you can customize it. So that's it for this portion of this video.
So today is New Year's Eve, and the only thing I want to do today is take some pictures with me and my kids. This is going to be our last holiday together as a family of 4. As it's gonna be my last holiday as a mom of 2. So I want to take some cute pictures and call it a day. That's the only thing I want to accomplish today. And I'm exhausted. Turn that light on.
I'm not turning it off first. I turned it on first. Eight, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ha ha. 2 people in 1 place.
Alright, come.
Me?
Mm-hmm. So good morning. Today is Wednesday, January 7th. It is my last doctor's appointment with baby girl. We are going to do her checkup. I'm going to ask for a membrane sweep, and I'm also going to do a NST test, and that's a non-stress test. my induction date is tomorrow at 6 a.m. So let's get on with it.
Yeah. All right, let's see how this kiddo looks.
This is the last of it. So baby girl did great in her NST test yesterday, and today is officially my induction date. I'm actually up super early because pregnancy insomnia is killing me. I'm gonna take a bubble bath and get ready. So I think the only good thing about having an induction date is you know exactly what time, you know exactly what day, unlike a spontaneous labor. It gives you a peace of mind in that sense. But thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next week in my birth video. Deuces.